start going. Just start going.
Born ready.
Adam, how we doing?
Yeah, we're good. I was looking at sharpshooter. The new sharpshooter doesn't do the whole -5 plus 10 damage thing.
Right, they nerfed it a little bit.
Pretty
They
broken.
took all the broken things I used to do and they made it balanced. Now it's not funny.
Darn it. Alright, yes, we're good.
Thunderclap.
Yeah.
But they fixed Heavy Weapon Master. Or,
They did.
Heavy
Well,
Armor Master.
Heavy Armor Master is really.
It's so nice.
Let me
Also,
just
Mage
place that
Slayer.
right there.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. They really threw a bone to the fighters here.
I'm good.
Guys, let's preface this as we begin.
I think. Would you like me to take silver revives or not? Not good.
I'm lucky still remember the real explanation.
I'd like to preface all of this by saying I have a general outline and things the way I want them to go. I think too much political intrigue within a one shot is just going to bog us down way too much. So if we'd like to imagine the height of mystery that's happening, that'd be great. And a lot of it is I have a general like skeleton, and I've kind of discovered my DMing style is more on the lines of like improvisation within it.
Perfect.
And doing a lot of like player interaction and some really freaking epic combat. So that's what we're kind of in store for. So to start out, let's roll for initiative.
So,
Yeah, this is gonna build up to we're looking at maybe like, well, who knows how many fights we'll be in.
So between 3 and 7.
With that being
to rage.
with that being said, shall we begin?
Absolutely.
Okay.
oh, Counterspell seems like a good spell to take.
We begin this one shot in a funeral mass. You are currently in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the place in which Jesus died. You are lined up.
Like in real world? Like Jerusalem? Is
You're
that
in Jerusalem. This is in the universe.
Oh, I did not know that. I didn't know there was actually a Jesus in Third Coast. Okay.
This is where Christ died. So the Holy Land, to preface, is an island off of.
I knew that.
Right.
I just didn't know we had a real Jesus in this world.
There is Jesus. This is
Tristan,
Catholic.
do you want to preface the Holy Land Island and then the Jerusalem and the Vatican and what that actually is?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, just in a second. So you're in Jerusalem right now, the holy city, the diadem, the crown jewel. But right now, it is a somber mood. As you are witnessing the great funeral mass for the Holy Father, Pope Francis. You are in a church that generally is kept fairly clean. Right now, it is dusty. There are various stained glass windows broken. From glimpses of the outside, you can see just more dust, smoke. The funeral mass is taking place in the morning. The sun is starting to shine through, but generally, the smog of the recent desolation of this area hides the light of its rays from vision. The choir sings a somber funeral antiphon, and the presiding cardinals, some of whom you would recognize, are celebrating the mass. As it begins its conclusion, they take a grand casket made of finest ivory and olive wood, stained to perfection. Therein lies the body of the Holy Father. He's being carried away by the few members of the Order of the Last Crusade that are still in Vatican City. The last few days, in reality, have been quite a blur for all of you. There was rumors growing of a cult of the dragon that had been building up And as they begin to amass their forces, there was more calls for aid. One in particular that has stood out to many of you who are within communication circles, or who happen to rule over some provinces in Faerun, that a Father Blackwood has been calling for the army of the Order of the Last Crusade. The army has answered the call, but is now thrown into chaos as the army leaving for Waterdeep left the Holy City, Jerusalem, and the Vatican, which lies in the same place, open for attack. The Cult of the Dragon, with a force unimaginable to many, emerged from a portal from hell and decimated the city of Jerusalem, making their way to the gates of the Vatican, of Vatican City, to St. Peter's, where they had been managed to barely be repelled off by powerful magics deep within. In the midst of the confusion, the Holy Father lost his life. Many of those you know also lost their lives. This funeral is not just for the Holy Father, although it commemorates him. It is for the many fallen within the Vatican, within Jerusalem, and its inhabitants. As the procession makes its way out of the Holy Sepulchre, a rather simple church, and you being elite members of the Vatican are either on guard, celebrating, participating in some way that got you in close to where the Holy Father was laying. You exit the church, and you're greeted by a slightly brighter sky outside, and you make your way down the streets of Jerusalem, still clouded with smoke. As you follow the procession, you reach the north gate of Jerusalem, opening up to, as the smoke clears, you behold a magnificent, gigantic tree. You would know it to be a mustard tree. To you, it's a familiar sight. This is the Christ tree, where Vatican City rests upon its boughs, and you see the shining diadem of St. Peter's far above you. But you're not going to the Holy City right now. You make your way around the base of the tree to a small niche in its roots, its great giant roots. And most of the procession stops there. They can't fit inside the place where they have been putting popes for thousands of years now. Within, you make your way through a small but well-kept garden. It's the Garden of Gethsemane. And past that, they have dug deeper into the ground to where all of the Holy Fathers are buried there. You continue. Most of the procession, including yourselves, will stop in the Garden of Gethsemane to pray there. It's very well kept. And you hear the procession continue farther down a rather long, twisting staircase to where the Holy Father will be laid to rest. After about another 4 hours of prayers and stuff through main celebrants and servers. You find yourselves with the small crowd of elite members in the Vatican. Currently, you're in the peaceful, dark cavern that is the Garden of Gethsemane. So I'm going to just use this for now. There are a variety of cardinals around you. Many of those who would wish to be there are off doing various things.
Come on, help me somewhere. Thank you.
Many people are off doing various things. At this point, there's an attack that's mounting quite a bit within. Basically, the rest of Faerun is preparing for this final battle with Team Army. the assault of hell. People begin to cluster around into various states. You find yourselves kind of on the outskirts, all of you.
Can you unlock your rotation on your phone?
It is unlocked.
Hmm.
Does that work? Or is it weird?
It's showing that the video is vertical actually still.
That's not.
Oh, I see what's going on.
So around you are some that you would recognize. Cardinal Jerome. Which area is this?
I'm gonna go with Franklin's.
You see over. We don't really have to look at the map too much, just that there's a few groups. You see grouped together. Are people you know? You see Father Josias. He is the secretary that you're in contact with. Generally, whenever you have to communicate with the Vatican, from your place in the southern portion of Faerun, that he is talking with Cardinal Louis Dubois. This guy's gigantic. He's kind of similar to you in the sense that he's just this giant warrior of a man. Very serious, somber look to his face. He's a brass dragonborn. Father Josias is more kind of on the chill side. He's a human man. Rather simple looking. Definitely less threatening. Louis Dubois. As well as Cardinal Alexei, who is in this group as well. He is a very kind of slight looking furball. He's not as big as his usual species. He's one of the wiser of the cardinals, older in his years. Furball lived to quite a while, even comparatively to humans, and so they're kind of talking in low, somber tones. Another group would be Cardinal Franz, who you know very well. Franz. He is speaking with Cardinal Giuseppe Medici, who is a very elegant-looking Asamar, and still very young, but he's probably one of the oldest within the Cardinals, the conclave that currently exists. Cardinal Franz is he's a Leonin, and very kind of strict looking, holds himself in very rigid posture, very orderly.
Oh, why are you so pretty? That's the cardinal says.
You're so pretty. You would know, obviously, you would know best is Father Josias, Cardinal Franz. Oh, as well, sorry, I forgot. In that group with Medici and Franz is Cardinal Pacem, who is among the older, you know him well. He's also governing over some provinces.
He's in between me and I forgot his name already. But he's in the province above me. Pacem?
Franz is in the middle of
France is in the middle. Okay.
And he governs all the archdiocese there, priests and bishops there, and then Cardinal Pacem is in the north part of Faerun.
Okay. All right.
The rest of you, so you are all there.
Do we all know each other?
You've heard of each other.
Yeah, I'm actually a newcomer here. I've only been here for a few weeks, maybe. I'm a recent transfer.
And I'm the weird guy that's off in the distance, looking on. Like, I'm part of this interaction, but
very much in the back.
You're the security guard.
I'm the security
Yeah,
guard.
Commander, you would be over by the doorway that led down to where the holy has to be kept
Mhm.
as one of his personal bodyguards. Now, your main charge is to look after most of the cardinals, especially the ones that
Sure. So are you Swiss then?
yes, the
Okay,
commandant of the Swiss Guard,
Okay.
Lieutenant. We have Cardinal Jerome, directs the priests, bishops, and archbishops in the southern part of Faerun. We have Brother Zealot visiting at the time, and yes, is now prior of
Helmshold, the Franciscans of Helmshold.
who unfortunately you must rebuild quite a bit, as most of them were killed in the attack. And then Uriel, the gardener of Gethsemane.
I would say Shamar in the garden.
Okay.
So,
Read you loud and clear.
Brother Zealous, you don't have a huge amount of knowledge of any of the people here for the most part.
This is my first. I've never been involved with church politics at all.
Yeah, you've been in correspondence with Father Josias, who's the main secretary of like Vatican things that are going on. So you know him a little bit. Cardinal Jerome, you have a better understanding of most people. Lieutenant, you know of names. You kind of know a profile of everyone,
Yeah.
but you don't know them personally.
Yep. Can I give you 2 seconds here? So, Dan, I'm going to get off and get right back on.
Okay.
Oh, then you can't shut the camera that way. That makes much more sense.
Are you unmuted? Or Dan, can you hear us now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Uriel, you have the most correspondence with Cardinal Alexei, as he, being one of the older ones, kind of knows your position well. He actually, he and Cardinal Pacem both kind of help along most of the Uriels as they're trained and whatnot, teach them ways, at least in the past 200 years or so, as they have been kind of doing their duties. So both of them very old. Yes. What do you all like?
Okay.
Can I get a gauge on... So, how many cardinals?
6, including.
Gotcha. Simple routine here. Can I just perceive around, seeing everything's all in the clear here? As the gentlemen speak about whatever.
Perception. Or investigation if you want to look.
I was like, perception would be...
Safe space.
Perception would be 27.
You see nothing. Around the garden, I think what you would notice initially is just your surroundings as you're looking for maybe potential threats coming around. Being a guard, most of you are trained for that. You can see that the garden is very carefully and beautifully curated. Someone who very much cares about this place has done a great job upkeeping it. You would also know this to be Uriel as well, who's the gardener with Gethsemane. You don't know much more about him. What's curious is that he is, as you can tell from your perception, a very accomplished warrior, and yet he's still is a simple gardener. So maybe something off there. You wouldn't know about his position, generally. Even as the commandant, this is a very well kept Vatican secret. As you continue to scan around, Father Josias is in a bit of a tizzy. Things are just chaotic right now, and he does not love chaos. He's probably the weakest one. I think the weakest one.
So, like, you mean it's like if you like level?
Yeah, like you're giving an assessment of people's power. He's one of the weakest ones here. There's one who's obviously weaker, but we'll get to him. It's all good brothers.
Hey, the ring here is the chief of tower.
Let's see. Continuing to scan. Cardinal Jerome, what are you feeling right now?
What do you look like? So
Okay, so maybe I should describe myself. I'm going purely on this picture, by the way. I just looked through all the pictures that were on D&D Beyond, and this is the one that spoke to me. So I am like 6'5" orc, bald head, of course. And I am in. I guess like we're not really in a good spot right now, so I'm assuming I would like full on plate armor, and although I'm just tall, like taller stature, I like. I don't even know how to describe it. I have these nice round glasses.
Yeah, you do.
I am in my mid-50s for an orc. My nice glasses I wear. They can tell that they are newer, so this is a new addition for me. I'm getting used to wearing my glasses as I fidget with them every once in a while. And you see this large great axe on my back. And I'm standing at attention, I'm looking around, and I'm looking back and forth between these two groups, and you might be assessing, like, okay, he's looking between those two, he's either, like, watching over both of them, or he's trying to figure out which group he's going to go talk to.
Thank you. As you continue to look kind of in this group back again, as your eyes scan back and forth, you see Cardinal Medici, who exudes simply an air of calmness, a sense of like, not that he's seen worse before. This is a pretty bad place to be in, but he has a confidence of one who's maybe at peace. This is what he looks like. I only intend to make some, but this is Cardinal Medici. Just a very elegant, decent one. So his age is not shown. This is rather old.
Hey, over 5.
Yeah. As you look, as well in that same group is Cardinal Pacem. If you would imagine kind of like old Obi-Wan Kenobi in like episode 4 vibes, that's him. He's wizened, and he has, if you would imagine, maybe the kindest smile on his face. One who is deeply troubled, you can tell, but also contains he's very holy, very, very, very holy. There's maybe no one in the Vatican who would, in Jerusalem for that matter, in the entirety of the Holy Land, who would ever beg to differ with this man. He's not one of the holiest. He is the weakest one. He is basically a commoner. He's risen to the rank of cardinal not through any sort of magical or martial prowess, but simply from having the wisdom of a good shepherd.
He's watching.
This is Pacem, yeah. He exudes peace. Your eyes continue to go over. You alight upon Brother Zelos. Describe kind of what you.
Yes. So Brother Zelos is, I mean, we've all met him before, but he doesn't quite have the same vibes right now.
He doesn't quite have the same vibes.
He's very tall. He's like maybe 6'6", 6'7". He's very tall, but extremely lanky. Like almost looks like a strong breeze would blow over. Does not look strong at all. He's either a very old 45 or a very young 65. You can't really tell. But he's like up there in years. But he looks older than he probably is. Again, he's got a milky white eye, blind in one eye, and he's dressed in the robes of simple brown robes of a Franciscan monk. A rope around his waist, and the only really adornment he has, and he's totally bald, is a tight iron band around his forehead. It almost seems to squeeze. Like it looks uncomfortable, rather painful, frankly. And then the two things really stick out are his staff, on which at the end is a large bell.
Is it a Tina Bell?
it looks impossibly heavy for a man of his build to be carrying. But he walks like it's a normal staff. He's got a cloth wrapper and the clapper, so it's not flying everywhere.
Just for Easter.
And then at his ankles, all the time is a little teacup pig. About comes up maybe halfway up his halfway up his chin. So this little pig is he really gives almost Francis of CC vibes. Like you just sees like a bird kind of land on his shoulder and stuff. He doesn't say a thing. He's sort of looking around calmly. Again, he design looks like similar to I think it was Pacem or Medici, who are he's very very serene. Not even trying to talk to someone. He's sort of just staying there meditatively.
You would know from information of the battle that besides those who are, all of us, of course, who are mourning the loss of the Holy Father, that Brother Zealous is the one who's experienced the most loss. Basically, the entirety of his brothers were wiped out. Your eyes flip back to Cardinal Franz, who again, this Leonin, very his mane is well groomed, if you could imagine a well groomed mane. And he stands kind of in the tension plate armor of the works. No weapons in his hands. He's a powerful healer, one of the most powerful healers in the Vatican, in the church. And he stands sort of at attention and is curtly nodding in some low converses with this group. You flip back to Cardinal Louis Dubois. And this, I should make a little thing of him. This is, oh boy, this is a big dog, right? He has this, all of the cardinals, whatever regalia they have, there's a lot of red in there because this is very common of bishops and such as well, is that they'll kind of wear the colors, or things that signify them, but they're well armored for battle too, and they want to signify them.
For Cardinal Jerome, he has but one thing that sticks out is he has this armor just like everyone else, but instead of the main color being red, it's actually in the trimmings and the etchings is where you find the red with a silver, almost white silver bag.
Yeah. Cardinal Louis Dubois is he's a man of few words. And he simply stands there, grim look always on his face. Hard to tell anyway, as he is a dragonborn. But he nods curtly and sometimes runs with assessment. But overall, he's kind of a figure of stoicism, in a sense. And finally, kind of towards the back, your eyes light upon Cardinal Alexei, this furball is it. Well, this is him.
Like Sammy.
He carries a staff. That's about the only thing. The rest is just red robes, a little bit more maybe ornate, but not like celebration. It's just what he wears around. And this kind of fur-trimmed cap that's always on his head. It's a larger, maybe version of the little circlet cardinals and bishops would wear.
Do any of the men of the cloth here have edged weapons like swords or axes or anything?
Yes, so Louis Dubois carries a massive greatsword on his back, and he carries a reinforced staff in his hand. Cardinal Father Josias, who's not a cardinal, but obviously a man of cloth, he has with him a kind of a simpler looking warhammer. It's not like the two-handed kind, just like a battle hammer in a sense, like small. Many of them have shields.
Could imagine. I forgot your name, Dan.
Well, he's not a man of cloth, but carries a sword. A number of other cardinals have weapons. Cardinal Franz has a rather wicked-looking rapier at his side, and then a small kind of little buckler shield. With him, still strapped to his arm.
It's a well-armed boss.
It is a well-armed boss. I mean, you guys have just gotten done with the sinking of the Holy Land is just taking place. This is not a time to be. Any of these could be at any. What would you like to do?
I suppose I'll go up to Father Josias. Who's this one, right?
Father Josias is here.
Yeah. I'll sort of like slowly walk up behind them. Him being the only one I really have any my relationship with. And sort of stand at the edge of the conversation. Not interjecting, but just listening and waiting for an opportunity to step in.
They're kind of like slowly conversing. Obviously, Louis Dubois is on his end. The majority of the conversations, Father Josias almost worriedly ranting towards Cardinal Alexei. His Holiness the Pope is trying to bring us to an end in these trying times. We must have a conclave almost at once. Cardinal Alexei, will you be? It must be probably another. I don't know. There's so many choices. We must call it very soon. Yes, I'm sure I make the proper arrangements. And Alexei is kind of like slowly nodding, like just trying to calm him down. Child, fine. Thanks. We will get the conclave in due time. Yeah. Soon. Kind of goes on this.
Yeah. Father Josias.
Right, Nellis?
Yes, might as well be brother. Well, the battle is over here, it seems. The rest of the sword coast is under threat. I'm from Helmshold. My order has been demolished. My people will need help with this coming storm. I ask permission to head back home and the next available ship.
Well, the ships are. Most of the ships are burned. But we'll see what we can do. I mean, there's always some of the old ships that maybe one of us can, one of the more magic of those could perhaps teleport you. Maybe Cardinal Alexei, I think, magics to get you to the place you must go. I mean, isn't that right, Cardinal?
Is there not more you need that requires my aid here? If so, I will stay, but otherwise, my flock needs tending and my order needs rebuilding.
At this point, Cardinal Alexei turns to him. He's a very like, kind of looking man, almost like kind of Santa Claus looking. Didn't get his accent, so I don't know now, but he's a very piercing gaze. Deeply. Well, what's the first day was? Everything was Russian. What I see most of these are trying times. But it would be best if we could get you as soon as possible to the rest of your order. Perhaps we will have Cardinal Franz check you over for any sort of alignment it may have happened in battle mental status. And then we could properly get you back to your people to rebuild. So perhaps would in the morning or let us all know.
Yes, very well. One more thing. I'll connect with the Josias.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look. My one eye is gonna go down to his. He's got the rapier, right?
Brother Josias is a small.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, no, it's a lot of people.
And I'm just gonna speak up. Is it not true that men of the cloth are forbidden from shedding blood?
With that, Cardinal Louis Dubois is towering dragonborn with a massive great sword on his back. It is true, but only in cases when it is in danger.
Yes, I've seen traditionally where I come from. We resort to more practical manner. Bludgeoning weapons keep the skin intact and the blood inside the body. Seems a better way of keeping within tradition, yes?
With this,
Hammers, maces, the like Father Josiah's.
Louis Dubois gives you no. He continues to down. Hardo Alexi though turns to you as Father Josiah is just looking and kind of like lightly touches his hammer.
Lou would move his. So typically he holds his rifle at attention with his musket, holding the butt end, and it's extending out. When he kind of hears that, takes it, puts it on his tongue, kind of like concealing it a little bit.
Hardo Alexi.
What would you say of maggots?
Depends on what the magic.
Too hard.
Harming God's innocence, there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, I'm not going to touch that. It's the matter of just the fathers would teach. It's a matter of how we do the harming. It clearly says we do not draw blood, break bones, yes. Shatter the organs, yes. It is all within God's plan. Drawing blood. Drawing blood. Really, Rick, as best I can, it's an alternate interpretation. I am open. My ears and eye are open. I do not understand. No, I come from a relative backwater. Now I am here at the seat of power, and my conscience demands that I speak up. No, I'm not big
What I would say, you must look at all cases before you make a decision. For your blunt instruments, take my staff for example. With open skin, or then, perhaps, is it only magic that we should use to harm the body? I do not know this. You should pray about it, Father.
Oh, I have spent days.
Good. Father Alexi is going to kind of turn and walk a little bit over. Colonel Dubois is going to follow him. For some reason,
Could you put the microphone a little closer to Tristan?
absolutely. And I'll speak up a little bit too. Sorry, Dan.
There you go.
And you're left with.
I'm frying pan.
Oh, you're frying pan.
I just moved him up a little bit closer.
Okay, you're left kind of with that. You don't necessarily realize that.
Car Jerome has taken notice and he has walked up, and you may or may not have noticed that he's walked up, sitting 3 feet behind you, but I'm sitting on the ground. I'm whittling something. My carpenter's tools.
Father Josiah is kind of like, as they move away in conversation, kind of like hurriedly whispers closer to you a little bit. Well, this does make a very good point. I mean, certainly there are many arguments within about blunt edged weapons, but I mean, speaking of, it had said, well, perhaps we should talk later. No, more private, but I'm worried that something has happened to the Holy Father.
The Holy Father dead, yes.
Well, in the sense of how he died.
How
It
did
could have been something more, well, I don't know. No. Meet me, as the practice progresses, we can talk more. I mean, staying in the garden is probably the most secret place. But we must wait. There are many years here, and, well, I don't know why I trust you, but it's an outside vision. There's just so much politics here, you must understand. Kind of, symbols. He's still with you.
Politics just to sully the soul.
yes. But what would we do with our politics? And we wouldn't make policies. And there's so many things. I'll say this whole turning of events is just terribly tragic. And many say that even with the sounding of the great horn, the call of the dragon said that this perhaps is another horn of revelation. I mean, we're living in the end times after all. Perhaps this is the end. Who knows how many have been blown?
Yes, but many are saying we've been in the end for 1,000 years.
Yes, but none of them had to deal with dragon goddesses to this point. I mean, even I don't know. And the church falling like this. I mean, hard to hope, brothers. You too, Cardinal Jerome.
My see my guilty eye, like instead see if I just headed the other way.
Where are you? You look out. I'm on the ground. I'm whittling away. Like I'm very much like I'm engrossed in what I'm doing as I am carving away something. As I'm just sitting right behind you, but kind of tell him like I'm keying in on the main stuff, and I'm like, yes.
Cardinal Jerome?
I stop whittling. I look up. How tall are you?
I'm 6'7", but like super big.
You're taller than me. That's wild.
I look almost emaciated. So there's no fat on this guy.
I'm sitting on the ground, usually like 4 feet tall, but I'm still looking real high up at you. And I'm like, this I, Cardinal Jerome?
Yes, that's what I said.
Yes?
What are you whittling there, your worship?
In good time, you'll find out.
At this conversation kind of sort of wraps up as Cardinal Franz almost emerges over. Like in a certain kind of like...
That's a lion, right?
Yeah, he's a lion and... I see Cardinal Jerome.
But I'm
that you have... Sorry, it's supposed to be German.
No, I'm just
It's just getting into... I see, Cardinal Jerome, that you are carving away again.
Yes? And
What is it?
find out in good time. Things take time.
Perhaps we shall. And you are?
Yes, I'm Slipbound. I am Brother Zelos. Prior, what remains of the Franciscans and Canons hold near Neverwinter.
I have heard of you. Actually, you would know of Cardinal Franz in the Mistrect way. He governs over that kind of the bishops and stuff. You would know the archbishop better.
Yeah.
There aren't really players in the story, but he's kind of the head, the cardinal of the provinces. Yes, I am very well aware of your prayerful efforts in the area. Neverwinter especially needs them. Time most of the world needs them.
Yes.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
There with God. Death is not something to be lamented, but something to be embraced.
But perhaps we make our most tend the wounded. I have seen many come back from death from my hand. Praise to the good Lord. This, I must say, Cardinal, you received my message to,
Yes? Have?
earlier to stick around the gardens when the procession would
This wait in the garden until people disappear.
Yes.
Yes?
Zelos, I overheard of Josias, and he kind of gives him almost like a little bit of a stink eye. Apologize directly, of course, to Colonel Franz. Within the Vatican, totally. And But perhaps yes, you should also join us.
As your lordship command.
Excellent. And I stand up, and I kind of like I do like the little like cross your legs, but then like push yourself up and kind of like spin it and stand up type of thing. It's like where to now?
At this point, you hear kind of the chanting stop down the hall, which has been echoing up through the stairwell for the past. At this point, it's been a good hour, and they some of the procession makes its way back up. They begin to leave, as well as a few of the other cardinals. Let's see. There's another rest of the crowd in there.
When I see people start to leave and start wrapping up, I'm assuming I have people that are with me. I'm not the only one. Like people, other guards.
You command the entirety of the Swiss Guard. There's about 5 with you right now.
Perfect. So I will go and do a simple nod to the rest of them, to the rest of my guard, and we will do an essentially this like swoop where 2 people are always in front of the group, 2 people are in the back, and kind of like picking up the rear, making sure that it's good and dandy, picking up the rears.
Are you dressed in all like the poopy orange and yellow pants and everything?
I don't know what the Swiss Guard looks like, to be honest.
You are in the full brigade.
Let me just look at this. Yep.
I've only seen 2 of them. Like,
This is you.
That's your outfit.
Oh gosh. Okay, cool. So that is my.
But imagine hippo wearing.
Yes.
So okay, as you have this colorful.
Dress the battle uniform
Yeah.
with the plate.
So with my character, you'll see you see that on one of his hips he has a revolver on one hip, and of course he has his main musket that he always presents. He's the only one, I presume the only one with a long distance firearm, while the rest of them are probably more halberds and that kind of thing. And as he walks, he has different straps and he has a bag with him as well. And you notice that on his thighs, and like there's all sorts of different metal pieces, almost like metal casings. You'd think that it's ammo or ammunition, but it's not. It's something a little bit different. But he kind of walks around surprisingly fast for a. He has a 40-foot walking speed for some weird reason.
Big ranger vibes.
So yeah, but yeah, he walks with straightness and straight and very, very militaristic. Very few words. And he likes to keep everything nice and tight. And yeah, no.
Okay, so those that leave, as you're processing out with the rest of the procession, Cardinal France gives you a quick hand signal, and you recognize it. I mean, he's not necessarily been in contact with you, but you know that it means like we need you here, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's going to pull you aside into this group.
I'll keep my 2 guards in the back there. I'll keep them post, and I'll head up to the main group.
Great. Those that are joining are Cardinal Alexei, and then Cardinal France. All of your characters. Father Josias is here, and then Uriel. You're still kind of in the back area of the garden, but Cardinal France is going to. Cardinal Alexei will look over to you and kind of, Uriel, thank you for letting us use this great vineyard that you cultivate for this meeting. You're welcome to please come and join your trusted character, which will be a part of this conversation.
It is my pleasure. After all, I hear all things that are spoken in the garden. I fear that
that
more than just
the Holy Father is not safe.
It is our fear as well. Cardinal Franz and I have gathered all of you together. Well, it is happy matrimony. Some of you have been. I do not know why you're here. Why is he?
Nor do I. I wish Franz asked me to stay.
And Franz will
This seems political.
Hey, it is. It is political. It is something that I wish to. And he kind of addresses Cardinal Alexei while he's addressing you at the same time, Cardinal Francis. It is something that I wish for someone with a more clear head, one who is outside of this organization, politics, and all, to be a part of.
Maybe I'm not brave enough for politics.
You may leave if you wish, but as Zacharias, you may escort him out. Zacharias looks at you and. Oh. You want to stay here? You are free to go to the room if you would like. I would just
The elephant, the hippo-looking elephant, not the elephant.
Hippo look really great fixed now.
Hippo looks at you. I'm in fight.
I am a holy man. I do not. No, I do not fight. I heal. I preach to the masses.
Oh. We need a healer. You'll be good at that. Yes.
It is not
Join
us. It is not any kind of things that I'm interested in of your size. It is simply that you are an outside opinion that could be useful in this conversation. If you do not wish to be here, you may go.
I'm just gonna hold my hand, make the sign of the cross, and just sit there. 30 seconds, just I'm like, it's a little uncomfortable.
You begin. Everyone else is waiting pretty patiently. I mean, if you guys want to have different reactions, you can. You hear a
simplest eye roll, the simplest of eye roll from Lou.
You hear a slow, like really fast tapping. There's a sweat breaking out in Foundation's eyes. His forehead right now. He's not having it.
Then Hamilton's gonna like nuzzle my little pig. He's gonna nuzzle my shit. Yes, Hamilton, I agree. I will stay.
I agree. I gotta log out real quick. Jesus died real quick.
Dan, can you hear us a little better? Or Tristan?
Okay. So you gather around, basically in like kind of a small circle, in a certain sense, very hushed tones. It's come, Father Alexei, Cardinal Alexei speaks. It has come to my attention that the Holy Father did not die by mere accidental means. Cardinal Franz, would you wish to explain? Yeah. In my analysis of his body, which I should be able to resurrect, but something is not right. This man is the greatest healer in all of the Vatican, in the Church. Resurrection, for someone, a rather simple task for him, in a certain sense, yeah.
Remind me, what is the Catholic Church's standings in the universe on resurrection?
Yeah, this is a great question.
We're called to imitate Christ. Christ got resurrected. Case closed.
These are miracles. I mean, there are stories of saints who have prayed and people have risen from the dead, not just Christ doing that. Now, that's not to say there's not like kind of rules behind it. This is not something I've thought out an incredible amount. But what I would say is that for those that are blessed with the charism of healing, which Cardinal Franz is of the foremost, is that if he prays for someone that is like this, before he were to do this, it would be like a kind of a prayer of like, is this person like, Lord, if you wish this person to be alive, then you will make it so. And then he will pray over them and they will resurrect. Generally, with figures of importance such as this, he has never seen a case in which it has.
So he's not just throwing it out willy-nilly. So.
No, he does not. He doesn't just throw out, like, in a certain sense. They usually pray over it at least. In my analysis of this, which I did pray very fervently to the Father and to the Holy Spirit as to Jesus Christ, is that it is not as if God did want him to die. What I should restate is that there is something I think that is put in place that will not let me even access any sort of healing to the Holy Father's body, nor to his soul.
You are sure it is not perhaps God's will that he comes into this life?
I have thought of that, Jack. However, what is different from other ways, I have had dear friends who have passed away, and which I have felt God's will calling me to let them be at rest, as they need to be. We have not, in the vast history since we have discovered that Christ has revealed the divine power of his resurrection in a more ordinary sense, in the magics, we have not had a Holy Father die of anything but old age in the past, since we've had the records. This is very uncommon here. This is over 1,000 years. What I am confused about more than that is that it does not feel like God's will. It feels like something far more sinister has taken place. And so I am worried. I brought it to Cardinal Erikson, as well as Cardinal Patchen. Cardinal Patchen cannot be with us today. He wishes to attend to all of the poor and to the people, which I greatly understand. And so it is up to us. Bring it to our attention so that perhaps an eye for detail can be sorted out. Partially why I have asked you, Father Zeros, to be here as well. Perhaps you have seen something out of the ordinary that our eyes over the years have seen.
With that, I stopped carving. With all my brothers up.
I mean, should I know anything? History check or something? Should
I mean, you just came here. You could make a history check.
Why? I'm good at that.
Holding on die, Dan.
Oh, okay.
26.
This feels like the beginning of Tom's campaign. What would you have seen? You've been there for a week, maybe?
Yeah, maybe 1, 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. Order were there. For what purpose?
We were called that. We were called there
For the meeting, to make sure.
Yeah. Obviously, we're combatants. At least in New York, tend being back to support healing and sort of stuff.
Yes. Okay, with a natural 20 history check. More than likely, if there's anything that you've known from, you're not a political man.
No.
Not at all. But even so, you have an intuition of one who is innocent, which can often see through subtle deception more than maybe those who are more versed in politics. In that sense, you could tell that more than likely the Holy Father dying in this place, one, was like the cult of the dragon desired this time. The only way this could have happened is from it. Someone within the church, most likely higher up, probably had something. From your 2 weeks there, you didn't get to know very many people. You're simply a brother in the order. You mostly hung around your brothers. Otherwise, I'd probably give you more information.
Better than common people, yeah.
But I think you could narrow it down to like it's one of the higher ups in the church, whether it's a cardinal or not, or if it's just someone who holds a great position of power there.
Wait, it's actually one of us? And we didn't know.
Surprise! Forgot.
Part that we did know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Clearly, this happened within the desire of the cult of the dragon. it was not in their power to accomplish what Brother Alexei or Cardinal Alexei and Cardinal said. That I would not believe it is in their power to kill one of the most powerful men in Christendom, the most powerful man in Christendom, in his own home, in one of the safest places on the continent. Clearly, they had inside him. That much seems incontrovertible. Only spent a few weeks here, but sent it. No outside force could accomplish.
So make a good point. Sir, most wise words. Cardinal Jerome, would you be so kind as to look at the other cardinals? See if there's anything to be suspicious. Could be most wise. As well as you, Commandant. It is a position to discover these things, is there? While the battle ensued, I mean, there was seemingly no warning to this, but perhaps we could uncover something that's...
I just give it a nod of affirmation, like, yes, this seems wise. And I'll put my carving away and start walking away.
What are you carving here?
I'm still carving on it. You guys aren't gonna find out from me at the end of the one shot.
Cardinal Franz gives a nod. Well, if there's nothing else for anyone to say, I think we have said our piece. This is something I ask that perhaps in the next few days that you would keep an eye out, especially for us. This one.
Do we have a location or anything that we should be looking into?
Where did he die?
The Holy Father.
Died in combat. Insert location.
It was a very chaotic battle. I was not with him. I mean, you would probably know where he died the most. But actually, so in the battle, I'm actually going to have you make a history check.
Okay, cool. Yeah, amazing. -1.
This is good. 10. Great. This is, I mean, so the Swiss Guards has to like guard the Pope, right? Your memory is very fuzzy from the battle. I don't know why. The other thing is that in the midst of the smoking chaos, you were in the chambers of the Holy Father, like the audience chambers. You retreat there to make sure the Holy Father is safe as the battle's going. Sure. This is in the middle of the Vatican. And suddenly he was gone. That's what your memory is piecing together. And it's still fuzzy. And with it, a cloud of smoke. A rift in the ground is what you're remembering. Fire. And then black. The next moment, you're outside, you're in Jerusalem, and the Holy Father lies dead in your arms. Nothing in between.
Why?
As I'm re-electing, kind of crowd, to look at his hands. It was quite, as I remember, don't remember much. I think there's someone who can manipulate minds. Maybe. I don't remember at all what happened.
You think your memory was old?
Really? I don't remember every detail. I'm a good man. I'm a ticking clock.
The death of the Pope, your charge, seems like something most memorable.
Yeah. This would be a very
Do I know, is this garden that we're in, is it magically imbued, like, no one can cast spells here?
Yes.
Okay, like, actually no one can cast spells here.
Without the permission of Uriel, no one can cast spells here.
Uriel! Uriel!
Yes.
I would like to cast a spell!
What does Uriel look like?
Good question.
I can pull up the picture you sent me, Dan.
Yeah,
If that,
why don't you do that?
Why don't you do that?
I'll pull it up.
Whoa.
I
think you have a
he is not bare chested right now. He does have like essentially a cloak on. It's made of just a normal like leather. Leather and cloth in some places. It's decently patchy as well. It's got dirt all over it. As if he's been in the garden for a long time.
Uriel! I would like to cast Zone of Truth.
I don't you wish to cast the spell on.
Everyone in a 60-foot radius. Yep, that's what the spell says. In short, Dan, everyone that's here. Everyone that's here, Dan.
Do you mean to allow this to help the soul of
Need hope.
I would like to cast a spell to make sure we are all innocent. So we know who to trust. Grawl, I should make sure. Thank you. I'd like to see we're all sincere. And so I take out my great axe, and I hold it, and you notice, so I'm holding it, there's a part that glows, as you see in this red axe with gold like trim on it, in the middle of it, and this white light starts forming across in the middle of the great axe. As I hold it and touch the ground, as a circle envelops all of us. And so when I cast that,
We can all choose to.
yeah, I want to make sure they didn't change the spell. So you create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius, so 60 foot overall.
30 feet.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right. It's 30 feet diameter. My apologies, misspoke earlier.
Wait.
30-foot diameter. I can cast it 60 feet away. The range is 60 foot away. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there makes a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. You know whether a creature succeeds or fails to save. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive yet must be truthful.
And I think we can fail if we want to.
You can choose to fail. I will choose to fail.
I will have my integrity questioned.
What?
Well, I got a 23.
Oh yeah, you pass. The DC is 17, gents.
That means it beat.
It meets it beats.
I could have passed, but I could have passed.
Okay. So I know you fail. I know. Okay, you choose to fail. Does anyone choose not to fail? Uriel, do you choose to not fail Zone of Truth saving throw?
Basically, not failing is essentially like.
Do you choose to resist the spell, or do you choose to give into the spell?
I do not resist.
No, I do not resist the spell.
Okay, he gives into the spell. Does anyone amongst our party resist?
Just eyes. Resist. Turns into an evil demon and you have to fight
End of session. You feel immediate resistance coming from him, and you go, and then
Present.
Fail.
Okay, but otherwise,
The rest. So the rest, like just give into it. Okay, that are in the party. Dan. So the way that this works, like your permission of giving a spell, because it's important. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, is that you have basically a command word that you speak that then like ends like the basically like the anti-magic field that's within the Garden of Gethsemane that you know of, and so that's something that you like. It's kind of intelligible to anyone else. But anyway, so you speak the command word, and then it allows for spells to happen. So after he does that is when you can cast.
Yeah, so he does that. I do Zone Truth. We all give in. And I'm going to ask.
What's everyone's passive perception?
10.
15.
24.
I'm 10 on everything. 4?
I have observant feet.
I would say you miscalculated that one, bud.
Okay, now
because
because you have such a high passive perception. As the spell Zone of Truth is being cast, you can almost hear something else happening at the same time. You hear some other words, maybe something else is speaking. Make an investigation roll to determine like if you could sense the general words.
Like a counter spell?
No, your spell goes up.
Okay.
That's an 8.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So, what are you asking?
I'm gonna go around and ask one-on-one. Did you kill the Pope? And did you do something that would lead to the death of the Pope? So just binary yes or no questions right now. And I'm going to each individual person. So it makes it really awkward if you try to evade this question. So, I guess for sake of time, does anyone say, yes, I killed the Pope? Or does anyone say, yes, I did something that would ultimately kill the Pope?
I will say, GIF will say, to my knowledge, no. To both.
Nobody says anything. Yeah. Nobody says.
Nobody says anything.
No, there's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone answers.
Yeah, sure. No, and I frankly find the question somewhat insulting.
And I'll also ask Uriel as well. Because you are also in the Zone of Truth. Does Uriel do anything to attempt to kill the Pope? And did Uriel kill the Pope?
No.
No.
They're both excellent.
Do I still have my 2 guards around?
No, there's nobody but you.
Okay.
I will also state, because I'm in the Zone of Truth, I also did not kill the Pope, nor did I do anything to lead to the Pope's demise.
Cardinal Franz kind of thinks of. I notice, in a certain sense, it is very insulting, but something that Cardinal Jerome brings to the table in this line of politics is, in a certain sense, similar to why we are here, brother himself. Because his blunt ways sometimes have a way of getting to the bottom of things. Now, sometimes we do not need to go over any absurdities as well, or insults. So, it will allow you to ask one more question before our bills are put back intact. It's insulting, but I agree it could be a good one. Let's find Cardinal.
I have no more questions. And I take my great axe, I hit the ground, and this circle of truth, the zone of truth, kind of the circle collapses onto the point that I hit the ground, and then the cross that was on my weapon disappears. I have no more questions. For all I can all that seems right now, everyone in the garden that I can see has nothing to do with this.
Which was a fine question.
If there's nothing else, then let's go pray.
It would be best that we've retired to our various chambers. Thank you all for being here. It's good to have people that speak.
I will join your guys in the meantime.
Let me somehow just to figure out the loophole in the wording on one of those guys actually did kill the Pope.
And based off of, he'll look through and do a more, he'll look again a little bit more deceptive, a little bit more decisive in his search for that weird thing that happened. In his search. If he doesn't,
No, it already happened. So I don't think you'd be able to. You start replaying this over and over in your head, trying to figure it out. But your memory isn't going to do. It's just going to do worse than more. At this point, you replay it. I mean, by the time you go to bed, you replay this moment. Maybe 100 times, and each time you could figuratively, rationally convince yourself that anyone in the room had done that noise had come from something. Yeah, you might have a better idea. But such are the role. Okay. You all retire to your various chambers. So, all of you are staying within Vatican City. Jerusalem at this point is a place that mostly has kind of like hostels. Pilgrims will come to then visit the Holy Land and worship.
So is Vatican City sort of like it is within Rome, within Jerusalem?
No, so
or are they two separate cities?
Here's kind of like an image that helps.
That's actually a great thing if you have an image.
So there's this giant tree. There's a tree set within the bough, and then at the base here, it's not visually this because AI doesn't listen to me, but there's Jerusalem is at the base of this island.
So Jerusalem's at as above the roots of the tree, and Vatican is in the tree on top of it.
The tree on top of it.
The whole city. Is it stairs that go up around the tree, or how do you get up?
Yeah, there's no, there's stairs. They haven't been carved in. They're obviously created via magic, but they've been kind of shaped to go up it. There's faster ways they've kind of developed some pulley systems, that sort of thing. So, oh my goodness,
Elevators. Okay.
Good night.
Good night, Ruth.
Night, Ruth. I love you.
Night, Ruth.
Good night, Ruth. Y'all.
As we leave the garden, I'm going to stop Cardinal Jerome. Yes, all of our duty is to bring each other to holiness as best we know how, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to reach into my robe and take out a mace, hand it to you. It's really just a stick with an iron ball on it. It's a very simple weapon. I'm going to give this to you. So you may pursue God's work in the most virtuous manner possible.
Permission to morph things just a little bit from what rules usually are. I take the mace, I take my great axe, and I put the mace into the great axe as the great axe morphs around it, becoming larger and more all the features of it intensify, turning this
Good night, Ruth.
dark, rich red color, and also just on the outside, it's just frame of gold. Just the same design as the great axe had before, but now it's on this mace.
So previously in your liturgies, that great axe was like your bishop staff, and now you have this scepter. That's again, this is the blessed, right? The magic that blessed that weapon for it to be your kind of bishop staff in a sense.
It's just still my bishop staff.
So it becomes a mace, or it becomes the.
It's now a mace.
All right.
It's
a maul or whatever.
It's this now more grandeur version of it.
Decorated.
Fits for a cardinal.
You can keep all the things with your great axe except for the fact that you're doing blood thing damage.
Oh yeah, no, it is a flame tongue. There's other versions of flame tongue. I'll just update it on my sheet.
Great.
This is preaching up the heresy of slashing damage.
We're in like this is like. So here's the thing about Vatican City that most of y'all would know, and that you've kind of seen throughout the big kind of tourist spots of Vatican City and Jerusalem, which is the Holy Land in general. This is like the divine spot, both just in a lot of senses. But you have this great tree, which like if anyone would do like divine sense over it or what, just like
it's gonna blind them.
It blinds them with divine. Right, this is like almost the source of divine energy within favor. In a certain sense, especially within the Catholic Church. So we're just like brimming with divine. What you would also sense is if you would look downward, that on the back of the tree, not where Jerusalem is, but kind of a little farther back from it, there's water everywhere, and then just a giant waterfall in the ocean. If you were to look down, which you can from one of the trees, which would be like kind of a tourist, like they would give you a tour, bring you here, and all of y'all have seen it before. Mm-hmm. A gaping hole, a chasm to nothingness. And then on the sides of it, fire. This is the gates of hell.
Oh, whoa,
what? The church guards against.
Holy hell.
It is both a portal to, it's a direct portal
to actual hell?
Not to actual hell, no.
Okay.
To Avernus, and then also to the Abyss. If you were to continue falling forever, quote unquote, you would end up in the Abyss eventually.
Okay.
After probably going insane from the amount of like you fall for kind of a trippy thing. There have been like case reports of them trying. So the church knows a little bit other than research, but this is like the tree itself of this beautiful divine magic, almost the source of divinity in this land, also guards against the source of infernal nature that's right next to it, which is always on guard as well. But it's good to know. So
it's a stalemate there.
Exactly. Yeah. So
is this new, as in it came this form from the attack a few weeks ago?
This has been there since most people are. Since ancient history, church guards against the gates. The gates of hell from the prevail against it. So the Christ true. Yeah, great. Anyway, so you all retire to your various chambers. All of you are staying in the Vatican. The city itself, there's like villages almost, but little parts of the town that are on different like branches. But these are massive. Like it would be almost impossible to fall off unless you purposely did it ran for quite a while. So just to give you the scope of it, but it's been sculpted by like sort of like basically Franciscans who are a lot of the magic users in Franciscan order are druids.
Yeah.
And it's been like sculpted into like the tree itself. They just like braid and right. So, but you make your way to one of the more main chambers. Like you have St. Peter's, which is like smack dab in the middle, and then you know that deeper down it just continues to go. And a lot of the meeting rooms have been kind of verticalized rather than
very like Avatar.
Yeah, like it gives that kind of vibe. But there's next to St. Peter's, there's kind of a hospitality center. Also, actually, Cardinal Jerome would be there as well, since you're normally in Faerun, governing the provinces. There's a special like Swiss area that's very close to the Pope's chambers, which now is empty. You'll stay in the garden as you do all the time, unless you had a different idea of that. But I figured
I don't want to leave my garden.
Let's go to the bar.
Just, I will make sure that my 4 guards that I had with me are back, and they'll give me a report. Out of nothing normal, nothing out of them.
You're given the report that there's a socialization was kind of taking place. Like generally, people kind of gathered, but eventually dispersed. Sure. You have set most of your guards. Like there's at least 1 guard per cardinal.
Sure.
All of them are here right now. Like there's the church gathered for this, and then a lot of the military part of the church dispersed besides the Swiss Guard.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the other higher clergy stayed in.
I will mention in our before we do our prayers as a group, I will say to keep your eyes out and to look for abnormalities and report them. We are under a potential infiltration from one of the high members. So keep your eye out as well for the rest of the group and notify me immediately.
Great. You all tired? Anything else you'd like to do before you go to bed?
Yeah, I'm gonna go pray. Looking at the where you can see in the pit. I'm gonna pray.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna stare into the pit. And I'm gonna lower my rope so I'm shirtless. I have a rope. I'm just gonna flat
Yeah, oh my god.
I just start mumbling myself in Celestial.
Beautiful.
For an hour or two. Go to bed.
An hour or two of flailing yourself.
What's pig on head?
No, everyone just sits there like a loyal dog. This is normal. He does this all the time.
Uriel, what does sleep look like to you?
Sleep looks like me saying the guardian angel prayer that you pray before you go to bed. Angel of God, my guardian dear, commence me here, every step at my side to light to guard, to guide. And as I do that, my sword ignites in flames, and it sort of levitates, and sort of just rotates in sentry mode, essentially, while I sleep next to the tree.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. Dan, when you fall asleep, in the first time since you became since you took on the name Uriel, you dream. And you dream of first the tree of life, and you see it in all of its beauty, and you slowly make your, as in the dream, floating back away from it. The astral plane begins to stretch out before you, and this etherealness, and your gaze is locked in the tree, and you're going backwards away from it, so you can't see what's behind you. Suddenly, in your field of vision at the edge of it, almost like a cavern wall, just it's dark obsidian rock. As you realize you're falling away from the tree, the obsidian black, your vision slowly constricts until all you see is a single tiny bright point. You keep falling and falling. Things are getting brighter and brighter behind you, backlit by red, dancing in the light of flames, until the light almost seems to wink out as you've fallen too deep into the depths. You flash back into what seems to be the garden, but you see a figure you're in the corner of the garden. You see a figure farther away where you know the bloodstain lies upon the ground, and he is crying to God, moaning, weeping, blood dripping from his face, his hands everywhere as he sweats it out. The moon seems to light the area, a dim glow, and then a shadow passes over it. All goes black, and a trembling, bloody hand reaches out, asking for the cup. And you hear the voice, a soft voice, pleading. It says, "Please, please, my son, do not take this chalice from me. Will you let it pass? The cup of wrath.
Who are you?
As you try to speak, nothing comes out of your mouth. The only thing you can feel is the pack in your side where the cup is held, and your right hand able to move. I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, God. Oops.
Is this against a
Is
spell?
this against a spell?
It is not. Well, you usually get advantage on those, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you make a wisdom saving throw before this. If you succeed on the wisdom saving throw, which is a DC 17, then you get advantage on your charisma saving throw.
4.
So what was your charisma saving throw?
11.
Oh no! This is the bloodied hand of Christ before you, and your hand reaches in to the pack, grabs the chalice, and places it in the bloodied hand. You hear the soft words, "Thank you, son." And your vision fades to black. Okay. You all awake in the morning. Zealous, you're still in front of the castle. You never would. Bruce is on back. Please take 3d8, yeah.
38 only? It should be a half elder less.
I actually just hit myself to got knocked out because I slept the rest of the That's what I do every day.
It's actually for you. Stay on the So you all awaken. How does your gun work again?
So, how does it work?
Yeah. What's the alert part of it?
Oh, so... Oh, boy.
We should spend 20 minutes explaining gun.
That's good. No, just the magic part.
So, yeah. So, alert. This happens for every ally within 30 feet of me. A weapon magically awakens each subject who is sleeping naturally when combat begins. This benefit does not awake a subject from magically induced sleep. And then, people.
Power rate contract?
No. Individuals within 30 feet also have advantage.
This is all within 30 feet?
Yes.
Okay, great. And there are rounds just before the crack of dawn.
Okay.
We're looking at 6:30. The days are long these days. You, in the middle of your dream, suddenly a sound of gunfire, a flash across your vision. You startle awake. The two other rooms closest to you, you hear guards also go as they wake up as well. Your guards awoken them. What are you going to do?
Immediately get up, take my gun, I spit in the top of the barrel, hit the base on it on the ground, get it ready to go, and I'm looking. Ready to load and fire.
This is unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any way to sense magic at all?
Any way to sense magic? Not without... I have the spell Detect Magic, but I have not cast it.
Okay. I'm just curious if there's a... okay, so... You,
There's no cast. I'm not strong enough in Arcana to even know.
This alert feature, it's so within 30 feet if something happens, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. Nothing's around you. Nothing at all.
I say to my men, Dutch,
As you exit the room, you're in a long corridor chamber where other Swiss Guard members are. There's the Pope's quarters over there. And when you look down, as you open the door, a wisp arcane smoke floating close to your feet.
As it looks down, I'll take my.
Yes. Sorry. Let me describe really quick.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like waves, like a ripple in a pond, and it was at the foot of your door, and it goes in a little bit more.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll try not to step in the smoke.
It's not like super visible. This is something that only your eye can.
Oh, okay.
This is residue. Nothing active.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's very
Okay.
active.
Is it leading anywhere?
Just
Like
the fact
trailing from one.
just the fact that you can see it, it almost looks like it came through the wall.
Okay.
Makes sense. Like, which is the corridor, which then leads to outside.
Okay. I know this court. I know where I'm at in the chambers, and I know where the outside location, where that is. So I'm going to take a couple guards, let's say 3 with me, and I'm going to go out the door closest to get to that location from outside.
Okay. You make your way down one flight of stairs, another flight of stairs, you head out the door, and you enter into a small pavilion. A portal that leads down, it's going to lead, you're right next to St. Peter's Square. That's going to lead you pretty much directly. In the corridor, again, nothing. The smoke, make an investigation.
Okay. As I'm going down, is it, if possible?
Yeah.
How long does it take me to get? Like
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. On my way down, I will at the moment, yeah. I'll just make. Can I make a perception check or investigation? Okay, perception
If
check.
you want to, basically, if you want to try and follow the magic investigation roll, anything else you can do.
Gotcha. I'll do investigation to track because I'm looking for the source of where this is. Gosh darn it! Another 8.
You make it around the corridor. It feels a little bit heavier here.
Okay. I'm not getting anything.
Something has happened.
Yeah. Okay. What's the closest cardinal quarters?
Oh yeah, all the cardinals that work within the Vatican are housed directly across St. Peter's.
Okay.
On the other side of the square, they have that. That's like the closest resident building.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's all like offices or.
Please, guard. Please look at the cardinals, making sure that they're safe. They should be. It's early enough that they should be still in the rooms. Make sure that none of them are returning unsuddenly. If they do, please question them.
You see Jerome walking out now.
Yeah. I'll send the 3 guards that to the cardinal's quarters to do a little bit of investigation / guarding.
Okay. Check on them.
Yeah, just go ahead.
And you had other cardinal station there, or other guard station there as well.
Yeah, I'll keep them posted as well. But I'll let.
They're already over there, yeah.
And then.
What would you like to do?
Yeah. The gun. I'm gonna put my gun on my shoulder. Very rarely does he put it on his shoulder. But then he'll grab from his forearm. He'll just pinch in an invisible area, in just on his hand, and we'll pass this green light that appears, and then present that green light towards the smoke as you cast detect magic. Can I get a essence of where this thing, or like what kind of magic is it?
Yeah. Is it either or is it both?
So as we're 30 feet, 30 feet, I get to know the School of Magic, essentially.
What's magic like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The School of Magic is indiscernible. It doesn't come from a specific school. It is magical, in a sense that it is supernaturally affecting. But your vision, you see the waves as if they were there. Imagine like the smoke of an atom blast, an atom bomb. That's the waves of magic you suddenly realize are right in front of you. Black smoke. The explosion of magic centered on Cardinal.
Okay. Immediately, I'm going to go back to the quarters, wake up the rest of the crew, and full sweep Captain Ford. Okay.
Under your command, there are 40 Swiss guards. You currently have 20 guarding the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The other 20 were kind of under your command directly, so you direct the rest of those up.
Yeah. Full sweep.
Okay. You burst into the Cardinals' quarters, looking around. It's almost like you almost have to, like, you can barely see with detect magic on. This is so, like, cloudy. You blink a few times, kind of like magically clearing away the smoke a little bit and just like ignoring it. You can see a little bit there. Sure. Every 5 feet something buzzes because everything's magical around here.
Are you in one of the quarters?
Yeah, I'm a cardinal.
Okay.
I'm in one of them.
So I just so happened to open up your quarters.
How do you know I was the number one?
And I'll come up to
making
you.
my Hero Forge character real quick.
Yeah, I'll go up to you and kind of gently talk you away through.
I'm thinking how I respond.
What kind of paladin? Devotion?
Devotion.
Okay.
So I just kind of like open my eyes. I didn't move at all, by the way. You're like pushing me. I'm like,
Why your turn? You witness anything this evening?
sleep.
I can barely see you right now. For how much magic are in the area? We are
How
under
much?
something
What type?
undiscernible.
I grab my mace. Let's go.
Paladins don't often do this here because of how blinding the Christ tree is, but you could divine sense if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
Just the sense.
I think knowing it often is very blinding. I won't do it.
That's cool.
I bring back vision goggles on it.
Right?
Oh, fun fact, dark vision gives you 120 feet of dark vision on a spell. Just fun fact.
You guys make your way through. At this point, you exit the room with Cardinal Jerome with you, and one of your 3 officers sent ahead of you comes over, sir, we found you, and leads you to the way. Here's another really funny thing about the Swiss Guard. All of them are hippos.
Oh, yes!
Yeah, it's kind of like the Rockettes. You have to be a certain height, except you have to be a hippo.
Yep.
You have to be in hip hop.
We're like all the Swiss Guard are Swiss. How did this
Hippos.
thing push somebody called the Swiss Guard?
Tradition.
I just feel like they get guard.
The hit guards. Or gift cards.
There would be.
Well, hey, here's the thing.
This actually,
Everyone that's Swiss is actually a hip hop.
I've been to Switzerland, not true.
here's the thing with that, is that you would know a little bit of history of the Swiss Guard. That's just been the name of it for as long as you remember. There are records saying that like maybe it wasn't always the gift that were the Swiss Guard, but maybe that's where the name came from, like some ancient solution. But it's been in that
Sure.
culture for water. Little lore drop there for y'all. You continue on. The guard leads you to a room. On the door is labeled Cardinal. It just says Christum on it. P. Christum. This is Cardinal Pachin's room. You open the door. At this point, you either can choose to be blinded, or you need to turn off your detect magic.
Okay, I'll decide to. I get the obvious that magic is everywhere.
Well, this isn't even the Christ tree. This is something.
Yeah. Even the arcane magic that's are all over the place. Like, I know it's arcane based.
Magic.
Okay. So, yes, I'll take off. I'll shut down, detect magic just to see.
Vision immediately clears. Carbon drum. You see this draw. Just first thing that you see in your eyes, blood. Blood walls. Holy cow! In the bed, there is the blankets are up. There's feathers floating around.
Oh, like this is a recent murder.
Go up. The floor. There's one hand peeking out from what is kind of a cloud of feathers over, and like the remains of a blanket, and also like just dark. The hand that peeks out is blackened, shriveled up. Everything in this room, like, you don't know how the blood's there, like it's burning. You smell nothing. The only thing the only sense that seems to be working right now is your scent. There's no scent of blood in the air. There's no smell of burning flesh. There's no, there's nothing. And yet the steam is there in front of your eyes. The ground, which was made of some like nicer wood, is either bloodstained or blackened. And as you step into the room, a chill washes over you. Uriel, you wake up from a weird dream, bit of a nightmare. Your sword turns off its, sentry mode, quote unquote. Nothing out of the ordinary. The garden is as peaceful and quiet as ever.
I checked for my cup.
Your hand reaches to the sack and finds nothing.
Ruh-roh.
Not actually, but very, very soon, probably. I searched the ground for footprints.
Right. You want me to investigation roll? Or perception, whichever one you'd like.
Well, that don't give when you roll a natural one.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice anything if there was. You do know the garden very well. Nothing's out of the ordinary.
Oh, of course. Out of the ordinary.
Your sword also should have activated if something entered the garden.
You're right. But my cup is gone.
It is gone.
Why the rum gone?
Why is the rum always gone?
I go to the entrance of the Garden of Gethsemane, and I tell one of the guards there to go run to the Cardinals who were here earlier. There's been a robbery, and that's it. That's all I need to know.
Okay. He looks at you. You haven't gone up to the entrance to the garden in a long time.
Nope.
He, eyes wide, runs off as fast as he can. You wait. Brother Zealous, you wake up in the comfortable visitors' quarters, which actually happen to be the bottom floors of where this was garden. No, it's not. That makes no sense whatsoever. I take it back. You are in Vatican City, but outside. Why would they put this? You're outside, like kind of in the city of Vatican. I would like you to roll me in Arcana check.
Right. 16.
Okay. The reason you woke up is because you're pretty constantly in a prayerful state. You're very in tune with the natural order of things. You notice when you arrived at this time that particularly was the case. That you're surrounded by this divine energy, this natural life retreat. You awaken to a shudder running through the branches of this massive behemoth. Something terribly wrong has taken place on this land.
Emily, wake up. You felt ish. Just be awesome. Okay, I sleep fully clothed. That's I wake straight up, grab my bell staff leaning against the bed, and just start walking. I'm just gonna start confidently walk out of the guest house and just look around, see if there's anything,
Good. There's almost you know how like after someone gets like shock, like when something happens, like you get really wounded and like shock is going through, and you can kind of like there's almost like a weird like I'm kind of trembling, but also I can't feel anything at all. You're feeling that in the tree right now. Make me one more Arcana check. Determine place of wah wah. Alright. Charming. Things are happening. You don't know. Start walking around. Cool. Good. We'll leave off in your head. Alright. We're back in the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
Quote unquote. What would it do? Either Cardinal Grim or Commandant.
Immediately once I see her, turn to the guards, the Coast Guard, give me a list of all the ins and outs, the people in and out of this area.
Sure.
Pick up.
No.
And looks yeah, we like to do something more.
Before we go back, I'd like to cast, as soon as I step out and I don't know what's going on, I'd like to cast Arcane Eye, and just send, and no one sees anything, I'm just going to close my eyes and like bells and hands like state, and sort of like the Assassin's Creed thing where you're seeing things like just do that, like so this vision up, just up until I see.
What kind of vision is the Arcane Eye? Is it just like your normal vision, like?
It is dark vision. Other than that, it's regular. It's just
okay, cool.
It's just regular vision. I'm just scouting out getting a bird's eye view of the city.
And you said there was a hand that was visible?
Yeah, like out of the bed.
Okay.
Attached to a body.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I would like to investigate the body
As you walk in,
respectfully.
again, you don't smell anything.
Do I have COVID?
Yep. You walk in, you're looking around. You approach the bed where it seems like kind of. I don't know if you'd be observed for that. Never mind. You walk up. How would you like to investigate the body?
I want to see his face.
Okay, so you uncover. You see in perfect clarity the peaceful face of Cardinal Pacho.
Dang it! I was going to talk to him the day before.
And he is.
Is his whole body like blackened, like burnt to a crisp?
So there is a gaping hole where his heart would be.
Oh.
All right.
This is the only one that'll be able to do.
Only thing I'll do without heart cut.
And it is blackened. Nothing like. It doesn't look like flesh has been like torn open, anything like that. It just seems like it's simply kind of like gone.
Just gone, dude.
Just like deteriorated. Yeah.
Snapped out.
And black. Kind of, you can kind of see streaks coming out from that. His hands that reach this outside of it, the whole thing just black, not quite as black as right there. There's like little flecks of red within. The rest of it, it like kind of reaches out a little bit. Most of his torso is totally black. It reaches his neck and it fades, almost like a really hard line, as his face is perfectly fine.
Incorruptible.
Run an investigation check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still a point. Yeah, you can.
I'll give you a thing.
Vintage. Well, I don't need it because I rolled one by myself. I believe it's just funny. Let me double check my stat real quick.
Do you need dice?
I don't have room for I have dice. I don't have room for dice. Investigation is just a flat point. That's a nat 30 point. As half my stats are +0.
So it's a dirty point, but it's also natural.
It's also natural 20 because I +0.
It's a natural 20.
It's a natural dirty 20.
Your investigation, especially as a divine warrior, who is also very ordered in his sense of things. You look at this face, which is in perfect harmony. It's actually in great peace. You notice, gosh, the natural 20. You're gonna notice this too, because you're helping. You're gonna notice, you each notice different things. One, you notice that everything in the room, the epicenter is from where the heart is gone from.
There's a pattern.
It's a room. Yep. But it's not really a pattern. It's just that everything streaks that way. And all of the, like, it should just be kind of like a straight blast. Like, if you were to think about, like, physics in a certain sense. But at the end of all of them, it just kind of, like, throws out this weird,
like, chaotic way. Pattern?
No, not a flame. There's no pattern to it. It's chaos.
Okay.
But you look at his face and you see perfect order, harmony. What you notice with a natural 20 is that he was awake. How? He was. He's not. He's obviously dead now. But in the sense of, like, this is not a face of a peaceful sleeper. This is a face of the person who's excited.
That sucks.
You see. This is good. You see in his hand is clasped in such a way that he was holding something, which is gone.
Okay.
There's nothing in his hand. It's just gone. You also, when you investigate this like that, I'm not going to have you make an mechanical check because that's not for losers. We don't roll natural 20 3 times in a row.
That's my first
right, yeah.
roll tonight.
So this is infernal magic. There's almost like no class of what magic this is. This is just straight up diabolical. Something It didn't rip his heart out. It simply decayed it with evil. He was a wake wolf. And you know Father Pacham, both of you know Father Pacham well enough that nothing would really phase his peace. Which is good, because he's probably in heaven now. You could know almost for certainty. This is God.
Journal.
You can look in his drawers, maybe. Yeah, see, there's nothing outside. On his nightstand, there is a small booklet sort of thing, blackened at the top. When you reach in to look through it, paging through it, it's kind of a prayer journal.
Once I understand that it is a prayer journal, I'll keep it private as much as it possibly can and go to the last pages. So that I'm not sifting through his personal information. I just want to get the latest, just for change.
Yeah, it's a nightly examine. You get a little bit of a look into like the holiness and life of Cardinal Pacham. I mean, he's a beautiful soul. And you also see that each of these takes up a whole page of this thing. His handwriting's tiny. And he writes down in Thanksgiving all of the names of the people he saw today. You both see your names in there.
Before you actually go find that, as soon as we...
Nothing else is out of order.
As soon as we see his face and figure out what's going on with him, I don't want to say gently, but like, just like very firmly put my arm on your shoulder.
Just like hide, like tough hide.
And yeah, you see like between us, this gear forms. It's like a spectral gear that goes out from me and onto you, onto your chest, as I do Bastion of Law, and I'm gonna expend 5 sorcery points. Make a magical ward around you. That ward is represented by a number of d8s equal to the number of sorcery points spent. When the warded creature takes damage, it expends a number of those dice, reducing the damage taken by the total roll of those dice. You have 5 d8s that until our next long rest, or until I use this feature again, that if you take damage, you can expend the d8s to reduce the damage you take. Until you are...
That's sick.
Come on. We never use clockwork sorcerers.
He feels very much just like...
So, at the same time, you can't help but... Like, Cardinal Jerome, like, he's one of the newer cardinals within the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. So, maybe he didn't have as many one-on-one interactions now, but sure. He didn't realize it until this moment that, for blunt as he is, as black and white as he might seem, blunt as he is, there's this positive energy that seems to surround him. Not something physical you can see, but just in the presence. You're kind of like, that might be the dead cardinal's peaceful face, but you realize that in that moment when that gear hit you, it was the same type of energy as whenever you're near Cardinal Thrall. Like, something, dude, like holiness is radiating out of him.
Oh. So kind of sit there with that.
And you're just like, what the heck is up?
And, well, he'll probably just go, like, pull his head, like, do a very, very, very brief prayer of the simplest of perfection. Like, he's, Lou is extremely passionate in his work. But his prayer life is strong, but simplistic. Very, very simplistic.
You get 40 d8s. because I realize I only have 6 sorcerer points. I don't want to get rid of them all.
That's jeez. But yeah. So a very, very brief prayer on his soul. And then I look into the journal, find that
It's a regular daily examine.
nothing's
Nothing out of the ordinary. This should make sense for when you woke up. It's in the morning, really early. So his journal didn't say anything about that.
Okay, so it happened.
That would have been the night before.
Sure.
Sometime the night after he got
So it's not like he was up, did something, and then it was probably. And this is probably looking at this journal. Timeline looks like it's more of a when it appeared. The occurrence happened last night. He didn't wake up and then do those things. It looks like this was done by someone else.
As you guys have been investigating, the rest of the Cardinal Ward is woken up from the hubbub of like 20 other Swiss Guard rushing in. A couple of the important ones that you know have met, or kind of like looked in, shocked. Usually other Cardinals pass through as well. General hubbub happening. You hear a couple like other running footsteps outside, people barking orders, people in kind of general panic a little bit. We then cut to your arcane eye has been kind of searching around. As it nears, kind of zooming in down to the tree, looking at the chair, the plaza, St. Peter's Square, you see soldiers running, you see like kind of a general hubbub. As you then, arcane eyes like a closer look, you suddenly hear. Can you hear anything in your regular body?
Yeah, so I have regular sentences with my regular body. Oh, I can still look around, see, but I also get visual level.
Okay.
That'll work.
Yeah. You see Father Josias running up to where you are right after the square. Father Zealous! Father Zealous!
Yes, Father.
Terrible things happen. You must come quickly. Please. Cardinal Puncture. Dead. Runs off expecting to follow.
I will follow after him. I don't run. I walk quickly at a brisk walk.
As he's running, he kind of looks back to check your. Sees you walking. Swims back over next to you.
Will the speed of our approach change what has happened, Father?
I don't know. I figured
No, that is the answer.
Yes. As he's walking, it's like a quick step here and there, like trying to like.
I walk. I imagine it's a little bit of walk. I'll just take a rosary out and just start to call my prayer rosary and pray.
He does.
And while I pray the rosary, I'm at the same time sending an eye like in to investigate what's going on.
You see Father Josiah like start to actually calm down, be a little bit more at peace. Once you put the rosary together. Yeah, with your arcane eye, you're going to see some general hubbub. You're going to kind of probably zoom in, maybe more towards like where those two are. Yo-yo. Some time passes, and then you hear in your mind. Well, are you outside the entrance of the garden, or are you still in the garden?
No, I'm in the garden. I sent the other guy to go get the Cardinals, aka these 3 hooligans.
Okay, great. What? Coming back. It's not those 3 hooligans. It is Cardinal Franz.
That's fine.
As well as Cardinal Medici is with him as well. the ASMR, and they both kind of stride up rather quickly to you. And Cardinal Franz, with sort of a worried look on his very even kilter face. Well, yes, you're here. There is something you wished to robbery of sorts. I must say we've had quite an experience up in the chambers of the cardinals, so I don't know how much could surprise me now.
Grobby involved the Holy Grail. It was stolen, and I fear that whoever may have attacked the cardinals that you speak of may want the Grail for some sort of ritual.
Was it? No. Oh, this is not good. Dr. Tutti, still have you attended to this garden, or what is your next move? Could we have you come with us? Maybe see things from your own eye. We could invoke the safety measures for the garden. It should be enough with you not present.
Yes. We can have the god outside the garden. I will seal the garden. And anything that is less than lawful good cannot enter the garden.
Very good. He kind of snaps his fingers, and one of the guards, it's the guards that guard the garden. All of these are, like, there's multiple guard stations, and they're all trainees to be Uriel, like the next Uriel. So they're all, like, fairly elite warriors in their own making. But they're going to guard. You speak another command word. You feel sort of like this tethering that happens as you see, and no one else, this ethereal Uriel step out from you, along with this ethereal, well, what is almost a real-looking flaming sword. It's much more ethereal than what you kind of look like in this image. And it steps into the garden, and what everyone else sees is just a floating flaming sword. As it passes in front of the garden entrance as you step out of it, and the like sort of ivy and stuff that's growing around goes and shields itself across, and it begins to continue going up the entrance to where toward the exit out into Jerusalem and then to the Holy City. As you guys walk out, this sort of like powerful mixture of various arcane magics, both like illusion, divination, like all of these things, evocation, swirl around. I mean, there's heavy enchantments in protection around this, even when you're not there. But this comes at a bit of a cost for you. You still have your sword, all that jazz, but you are going to take. What's your health at right now? What's your total health?
Me?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
201.
201. Okay. Well, you are reduced to 151 as 50 points of your max HP create a soul tether so that something is guarding the garden still.
My max reduces to 105 from 751.
151. You can use no action required by you. You can call that guardian back to you, but it would leave the garden unguarded.
Right.
And by the way, at 151, yours.
He's still basically at
One's the highest hit point.
Right. Great. Okay.
I rolled very well.
Yeah, that's your miss. Okay, so you follow Cardinal Franz up. He gives you an update on all the things that are happening as it's going. Cardinal Medici will chime in every once in a while. He has a very elegant Italian tone to him. Again, still very level-headed, even in this kind of terrible situation that's in chaos that's going on. But he'll chime in on some details if Cardinal Franz misses him. Anything that you'd like to ask as you make your way to the Vatican?
What do we know so
We
far
know so far about the assailant.
There's nothing except for the fact that this is infernal in nature, and from what the preliminary reports of the guards look like, is probably was not from an outside force. We believe that there would be no possible way to break into the Vatican outside of this for infernal nature unless it was already inside in some underhanded way. So we are, yes, in a bit of a straits. However, it has been put up to a vote by the cardinals throughout. Father Josias will be mitigating this as to whether they would like to call the conclave to elect a new pope as soon as possible, or if they would like to wait until this is settled. The votes are being cast now. I am afraid this is a hasty choice, but many are in panic and wishing for a Holy Father to guide them in this chaotic time. So I believe at some point the bell will be rung for the conclave to begin. This is very unprecedented. Why is this going into such a fun accent? Ja, this is very very unprecedented. So we are looking to, still French. Use a German accent. We are looking to find a way to, well, we shall see what happens. Ja.
Hey. The siege shall not be alone. We must get to the church.
And as you say that, a long bell is suddenly heard in all of your ears, echoing throughout your mind, but in nowhere does it seem to be in physical reality. And Cardinal Franz and Cardinal Medici look up. It is time. It seems as if the vote has called the conclave. We shall be teleported there shortly. I ask, and you see actually they begin to almost fade as divine magic calls them into the conclave room. I hope that some of this may be of good use to you to... Well, I just ask that you do some research as we are in the conclave. Perhaps we can find this assailant. Otherwise, I ask that you guard us well. I'm afraid that whatever powers this may even be too much for our commandant by himself. As he begins to fade away.
Dennis' snap really got unlucky. I'm assuming at this point, probably before the bell has gone off, that there's a little bit more of a the police gate now at this point around.
Yeah, you set the perimeter being secured as well as you can. The cardinals are gathered in St. Peter's Square right now, and they're all just, it's a whole large hubbub going about. And many are distraughtly calling for the conqueror.
Yeah.
So
At that point, I would go to my post, which should be at a high point, looking at the area. If I can listen, then I'm hoping probably not, but more so looking at everywhere else, making sure that there's no secondary attack, making sure, making sure that it doesn't get worse.
what's up from there?
Absolutely.
As it's happening, as you're walking with Father Joseph, he, in between rosary beads, also has a messaging stone out. It just switches in his pack to various messaging stones. And he also is like keeping a tally on a piece of paper. But he's a lot more calm now. It's less stressful. It's kind of his secretary duty he's very used to doing right now.
I got a natural 2 for a 16.
Nice. In the middle of this, as perimeter's being set up and stuff, you hear in your mind a message. You hear Father Josiah's voice. The cardinals are voting to start the conclave. Is there? Would you like that or no? The conclave, as you know, is a process in which to.
Yes, I'm like, hair in my head. I'm like, I respond. No, there's people dead. Let's figure that out first.
Doing it.
I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, I get it, we need a pope, but like, guys, let's figure out what killed the pope so the second one doesn't die too.
As you're standing, are you back outside St. Peter's Square? Do you want to be in the room? Where would you like to be?
I guess I'll follow him. I'll be with him.
Okay. You're out in St. Peter's Square. As you're kind of looking around, you get out with a message, and Cardinal Alexia approaches you. Hey, hello, Cardinal Jerome. See that you're one of the first to enter the room of recently deceased Requiem Pace, Cardinal Pace.
Yes.
Is there anything that was of great note that you may have seen?
His heart was missing.
Oh,
this is very bad news.
What is, there's quite a hubbub around with the cardinals if we should do the conclave. Do not know where I stand. What do you?
Doing our conclave, we're going to lose a pope again. There's something that's not right here.
So perhaps we should vote for a pope that has the prowess to not be killed like Cardinal Pace. He's holding this before him.
Or we figure out what's killing people first. Maybe Cardinal Pace was going to be the next pope, and that's why he got killed.
He was one of the most outstanding members. Would have given him my vote.
Exactly.
Yes, this is troubling indeed.
Is this guy being honest with his statement, or is he like hiding something?
Make an insight check. You should be near enough to him.
Well, I'm just thinking because I'd just be kind of circling around, like, this thing.
Just flabbergasted.
There's nothing I can do.
2 dice.
It's a 6.
Thank you.
Yeah.
6 insight.
Really truthful.
He convinces you.
So you're convinced that it's time for the conflict.
There's certainly nothing obvious about it. This is very much, this is the way that Cardinal Alexia acts most.
This is the way.
This isn't out of the ordinary for him. He's a pretty contemplative, but also wizened, and very sharp individual. You're going to look back over to Jerome.
Yes, I think perhaps it would be good if we stay without the Pope. I fear that more chaos may ensue. If we do not agree, we might need at least someone to restore order to the place before we can even. Perhaps as we're outside, we can get some individuals who are skilled, such as Commandant in the Swiss Guard, to find out as we are. I mean, the safest place could be the Conclave. It's quite secure. This would be.
Or mass murder. Mass murder.
Yes, you have one. But if we're secure with the doors, we have all of the Swiss Guard guarding. I mean, besides.
And did we not just? Did yesterday we not just talk about how most likely whatever evil here is already here?
Yes, exactly.
And what if it was another cardinal?
What?
And we put the cardinal with the other cardinals.
Point.
One bad egg spoiled all the eggs. I walk away.
He's left there pondering. A few moments later, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Before
the bell.
I'm actually.
The majority of the Cardinals say they want a conclave. Your vote has been cast, but.
I'd be surprised. This is the main.
This is in St. Peter's.
As I walked away, I'm just like, flying around, just like. Carving away, like, I'm so frustrated.
I'd like to stride in the middle of this hubbub.
Yeah.
And start going around, try to ascertain the situation. And just start talking, like, just going to like a random guy in a tall pointy hat.
He's still taller, even with the pointy hat.
What's going on?
You get the aspect of, like, there's been a murder over here. Some people saying something's been stolen.
A little bit of murder, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that.
Chaos is ensuing. A lot of them are like, we have no direction. I don't know what I'm doing. We need a pope. We're calling conclave. It's up to a vote now.
You're what? The conclave now. After the Pope is murdered within a few days ago, another cardinal is murdered tonight, and you want to keep all the cardinals together in one place.
We need the Holy Father. What am I going to say?
I take the cloth off the cap of my bell and I swing it.
Is there anything special about it?
And that's not right now. It's some super tall guy swinging the ball. I'm gonna like get up on like any sort of like bench or something raised, and I start to like just preach, like just start to yell at the audience at the top of my lungs, and just tell you what I just said.
Yeah.
You fools! If the people of God could see their leadership here, what would they think? You all bickering like women.
Can you make persuasion?
Is it not written that Christ gave us a spirit, not of timidity, and power, and self-control? Look at yourself.
Let's go.
25.
As you begin, the bell really gets people to turn over, and they start to hear you more and more. And many of them listening and kind of like self-realization. Okay. Well. Many of them, like what looks to be more than half, begin to reach for their sending stones, looking at it. Some of them speaking into it.
I'm gonna keep going. It's like,
yeah. Cardinal Jerome, you see what Brother Josias is, or what Brother Delis is doing. Any reactions? I mean, right?
I accidentally found the Lord of the Rings classes that somehow we have access to. So that made me excited.
That's okay.
I'm just gonna watch. Well, I'm gonna go off your rip. I'm gonna still we're in peace and small knife and carve walk up and it's like the Pope just died. A brother cardinal just died. There's something not right here, and your resolution is to put every potential target in one room.
I need both of you to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Fortunately,
hey, you're next to me, right?
I'm good. Yes,
You get +4.
Alright, well, I better not fail this because I'm really freaking wise.
I got 15.
I got 32.
Holy crap.
Plus 4, 34. That makes difference.
What?
I got 14. Not bad for a 5 on die.
I'd like
That's
to
pretty
give
good.
8 of mine.
Both of you feel, as you are talking and stuff, somewhere, again, not discernible, a wave of almost dread. You're in the throes of preaching, or True Franciscan on fire. Nothing affects you, but you feel it.
Cardinal.
Your mouth stops moving. Card your own.
Like mouth to part. Oh. My mouth stop moving, or do I just stop?
You're not. You just stop. Like you can move your mouth. Like
No audible sound.
no audible sound starts coming out. Not in the sense of like it's silent. You can still hear. It's just that you no longer can speak.
Any chance this has to do with charming?
It does.
I do have a thing against that.
Oh, okay. What is it? Are you like immune to charm, or you?
I got a double check actually.
I'm immune.
You, as you're looking out,
And my arcane eye is also looking out over the crowd.
Aura of devotion. You and your allies have immunity to the charm condition while in your aura of protection. So within. I cannot be charmed.
Wow.
Neither.
how big is your corner?
Great question. I'm
Low
looking
14, baby.
Wait. I think it's 30 feet? 40 feet?
Can you make a wisdom saving?
Absolutely. I'm probably outside of his
You are,
radius.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that right now. But so do I basically have the same effect of what Blake had going on then? Like I can feel it, but like I'm still going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my bad. That's a 4. That's an 18.
You also this wave.
10 foot. 10 foot around.
Okay. There's a handful of those that are in the crowd, kind of next to you, and other zealots that are also unaffected because of your aura. They similarly, actually, you wouldn't even feel it because it doesn't even enter that area. So they wouldn't either. You will. Are you 10 feet away from each other? Are you?
I was walking next to them, so I would say that I would say by the time something happened, we recognize.
Okay. I say for the sake of it, you probably still like feel something happened.
Yeah. No, I'm okay with that. But like it just kind of gets dispelled. Like,
Yeah. Nothing. You can't discern what it is. You do feel like something. You feel initial, as like you almost feel like you want to shut down, and then again, you see in the crowd of people, there's a handful around you that are hanging onto your words or within your aura that they are still like they've voted no, we don't come until they've changed it. The rest of them, even the ones that have put up to start talking, is that they. And this speak words to.
Is this discernible?
It's not.
But
Hold
I
on,
still felt
hold on,
some sort of
hold on,
bullshit.
hold on.
You
Hold on.
felt magic.
Hold on.
observant he
Yeah.
lips.
Does that I don't think that happens anymore.
So it's not part of it.
Not anymore.
That's fine. You're looking at a crowd of people.
No, so the old observant, I could read lips, but I can't do that with the new observant.
Well, you might make a perception check. It's just not automatic.
Oh, yeah. So the new class, you can actually read all the new information about that. That's cool.
So okay. Yeah, I can't do anything because that's the new version.
You're frantically looking around to see like.
Oh yeah. And if possible, I'm going to do a whistle. And any guard that can hear me understands that is a word. That is like I'll do it in a certain way that will like emergency circle, like make sure everything is good. We're in a pretty bad situation right now.
Your outside perimeter gets ready at the ready. The inner circle is within St. Peter's Square, beside yourself. Either don't move, and you see one of them begin to leave and go towards the church of St. Peter.
Is that where the conclave?
It's not where the conclave is. The conclave is a different room that's underneath, within the trees, kind of boughs. But the way that they call a conclave is with the bell.
I'll make a scene, and I'll run towards that person that's walking, and I'll attempt to stop.
Okay. That person begins to run.
Okay.
And
slowly walk out.
They're running.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll have an action, but I'll wait a turn. Okay. I see the person running. The guy obviously abnormal. Okay. So, from his shoulder, his rifle will go off. He'll take the barrel, twist it off. He'll put it back in his thing. From his thigh, he's gonna grab this humongous barrel-looking thing, strap it on it, so it kind of looks like a grenade launcher. Goes in his pouch, grabs a large musket, chuck it in, aim the sights, and hit them fire as he casts ensnaring strike.
Hey, the spell has been cast.
Well, this is the second spell.
Sense.
Okay. 18 to hit.
Now it'll hit.
Awesome. I need.
Switch guard.
There's a D8 of damage in there too.
Does he have to make a save to be ensnared?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, don't worry about the damage.
Okay, he needs to make a strength saving throw. If he's large or larger, he gets an advantage.
Roll that one.
Okay. He will he will get restrained,
okay.
And at the beginning of his turn, he's going to continue to get 1d6 of piercing damage. He has to as an action, he has to use his athletics check to get out.
Okay. Is it like a net?
In this instance, yes, it is a net.
Okay.
So you a barbed net,
and it wraps it with deadly accuracy. It wraps around him. He falls to the ground. The barbs, some of them dig into the ground, snare you, swarming, and suddenly goes limp. As you rush over to him, you see his eyes are no longer glazing. Captain, what's going on?
Why you run?
Why'd you run? I don't know. I was guarding the cardinals, and then I was here. History check.
Sure.
Really easy DC.
Oh, 18.
The way he described it is directly how you would describe your time with the Pope when you were trying to protect him in the battle.
I will go to the edge of the barb and twist one of them, and the whole thing the whole thing goes into a straight line, and I pick it up and then put it back.
He shakily gets up. He's no longer like charmed. Anything.
And I will grab Dan. Your character. Dan? Is your character
He's
in
not.
this? Okay.
I am there.
You're not.
Okay. I'll look at you because you're an outsider.
I'm in the middle of the squares. Creeping over.
So running back, we are being invaded. Please get to your secure areas.
You like bell that out.
Yeah.
Okay. There's like a sort of a silence that falls over.
And he like swings back to his normal barrel.
Yeah. There's a sort of a silence that falls over as the cardinals like look around, and you hear kind of a voice from them. Invaded by what?
I don't know. Something is bad.
Well, of course it's bad. That's why we need the conclave. As another voice echoes out.
I'm gonna ski. I assume everyone in the race like felt the spell. Like can you not see the subterfuge afoot? This conclave, even if it takes place, is not licit. They do not vote of their own free will. You must oppose this, all of you, at cost of your lives, for the unity of Mother Church.
Could I? Okay, I know that I said I got rid of the tech map, but has it been 10 minutes since?
Yeah.
Okay, is it possible if I can get that back going, like resume it, just to see if something occurred without a recast? I can recast if I wanted to. So
can you
so
me a charisma?
I can roll a charisma saving throw. Yes, I can do that. It would be a solid 8.
Okay, you have to recast it.
Yeah. I'll leave it alone for now.
Okay. Alright. As you're speaking, the hubbub arises. There's various voices starting to shout. Suddenly, from the middle of the kind of crowd of cardinals, smoke begins to appear from other areas. As smoke rises over, you all for a few seconds kind of being surprised by this. Can't see anything in the cloud.
I know exactly what this is.
Oh, is it the same smoke that I saw earlier?
It is not the same smoke you saw. No. This is just smoke. This is just like blinding. It's heavy, kind of peanut bombs as it. And then, okay. You hear a voice behind you.
I'm eyes open. Smoke up. I turn around.
Where's blindside?
The voice speaking says, "If your tongue will speaker," and you are going to get hit behind in the head. The initial hit, which a 21.
I won't even talk. I'm not even.
Sorry, you see stars. The damage isn't what knocks you out. Instead, you feel as like kind of a brilliant red light almost seems to corner of your eyes and fall conscious. In effect, you're not unconscious. You're actually paralyzed.
Okay.
You fall to the ground, and all you see is fog and footsteps all around you. You can kind of hear your vision your vision fades to really blurry. It's very foggy. So does your hearing. As the fog explodes around you,
at this point, I'm trying to make it back into the mob.
Yeah. Can you? So dashing, you have 40 feet of movement. Yeah. Correct. So you're 80 feet. As you're dashing back through, it's going to be difficult terrain because it's foggy.
Sure.
As you sprint, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm right next to him when that happens. It's happened.
Do I see my assailant at all, or do you get it?
It's directly behind you. Yeah.
What did I see?
Cardinal Jerome, you wouldn't necessarily, like, people are kind of shouting a lot. You wouldn't hear anything like whisper that you would hear. Can you make me a perception check?
I got 27 on my deck.
27, great. Okay, there's bodies, like kind of falling over. Your
Hippo doing
hippo just like
doing whatever.
16 for perception. Out of the corner of your eye, you see this dark kind of like shape. You can't make out really anything with the fog. It is actually incredibly thick. To a point where you'd have to be within the same square of movement to make out features of someone else. You can see some shapes within like 10 feet. This is not like darkness. This is just fog. Just fog. Dark vision won't help you here.
So I cast fog cloud. Does that negate it?
It's windy.
Should have.
You look over, you see kind of like a dark shape directly behind a shape that probably is, well, a tall, thin shape, and just something. And you see a flash of red, kind of scraggly. It looks very similar to the designs and the glass that you saw in Cardinal Hutchin's room.
Could I cast daylight? It's an action.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, like I don't know if we're doing. Is this combat related style now, or is this? I can
Not
still.
necessarily, but it's good to know.
Okay, so this is a 1 hour duration spell. For the duration, sunlight spreads from a point within range and fills a 60-foot radius sphere. The sunlight area is bright light and sheds dim light for another 60.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast it like right next to you. Really, I'm just gonna see if this like helps. So it does say if any of the spell's area overlaps with an area of darkness created by a spell of level 3 or lower, that other spell is dispelled. This is a level 3 spell. I know you said it's not darkness, but it's fog, so I'm trying to see if this helps.
Yeah.
Kind of clear things up. I will cast.
Yeah.
Cast it. I will lose the third level spell slot.
Okay. As you cast it, the light spreads over. You begin to see. So you know how when like you put your highlights, like your brights up in fog, and it just becomes a wall. In essence, but you've cast it away from you, so all of a sudden it's these like really deep shadows. But you get a good outline of the figure before. This figure's big.
I'm like, do they just?
They look like you see like a hand up, and then disappears.
Can I see that? Can I see that creature?
You see a point of light. You're still 50 feet away. As you're dashing over, you see other figures in there too. It's really hard to discern. You do see a figure crumbling to the ground, and one figure, because you're very observant, wink out of existence. At that point, from the point of light, you see the fog begin to kind of disperse slower than what it dark.
Okay, so
yeah, in the sense that like when the sun comes out, fog usually starts to disappear. It's going to go pretty fast, but it's still going to take about 6 seconds for all the fog to go away.
Not immediate.
As you do, the fog begins to disperse, and the sound of a bell. Boom! Divine magic that calls all cardinals, the conclave, begins to lift all of those in red.
Do we teleport in?
You're teleporting into the conclave. You did dispel the fog, though.
Am I able to, as I hear the bell, like, oh shoot,
You
run
can take-
over to him and try to like lay on hands him? Or
You
not?
can take one more action as like you have about 6 seconds before you totally dissipate into.
5 HP. I don't know if you're just unconscious or you have 0 hit points.
So I should roll.
You do have like, isn't it like 5 that removes any kind of remove condition like that?
I'm not looking at it. As bonus action, you touch a creature, restore hit points up to the maximum amount remaining. I can expend 5 hit points to remove a poison condition.
Just right in the back of the head. So, give me something else you want.
They give you 5. Hopefully that
One
works.
thing, so I had 10 points of temp HP because that's cleric do that when we cast spells. Still take me right back to max HP.
Perfect.
You're going to jolt awake as you see a figure of Cardinal Jerome with a worried look on his face disappear. You're going to look and see all of the cardinals disappear. And there's a figure that's lying prone that begins to kind of get up. A few other of your guard are around.
If it's like red lighter to that, I used to hit in the back of the head.
You got hit in the back of the head, and something arcane happened. That's like what really because you were paralyzed. I don't want to say knocked out, sorry, but you were paralyzed in some way that Kira had managed to do. Sense. Okay.
Oh boy.
There's actual map.